Hey everyone, it's GailLyn here, the Queen of Journaling, on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm at home. It's been a lot of snow here in Philadelphia, a lot of other cities and states, and I'm enjoying my time home because I never call myself bored. I always find something to keep myself occupied. So I ran across yet another, I don't want to say it was a journal, but it was a planner from 2008, 2009, when I was doing my master's degree program with Capella University. And I got a little excited because I thought, oh my goodness, 2008, 2009. 2008, I had just completed my undergrad with Pierce College. And prior to that, I had an associate's degree from 1988. So it took a span of 20 years to, to go from my associate degree to a bachelor's degree. And at that point in 2008, rather than start paying my student loans back, I thought, let me just keep going and get my master's degree and get it over with, because at that point I was almost in my late 40s, almost 50 years old, and I thought, better late than never. And I say that to say you're never too old to accomplish whatever endeavor or goal that you set, because you only get one life. So let's just get as much accomplished as we can. And I'm here as an example, and I'm here to encourage you that you can. So when I ran across my little planner and I start reading a couple of the listed items in here, I wanted to start off by just reading the little notation at Capella, because they gave this to us free as a student, which nothing is ever free. I'm sure it was included in my tuition, but it says, here's a tool to help you with the organization and time management skills that are so essential to your academic success. Use this planner to stay on top of your to-do items while you stay focused on your academic work. We wish you continued success in your academic pursuits at Capella University. And I thought that was so nice. If you can see it. So, that was nice of them to give us this. And it may have brightened someone's day just to know that Capella was thinking of them at the time they enrolled. So I was always in business. I took business classes from the time I was in high school. I was a librarian aide in 10th and 11th grade. So we could skip a couple of classes throughout the day and volunteer in the library. And that's where I fell in love with books and reading and writing. At that point in my life, I decided I'm good at this. This is what I do best. Business, office management, typing, word processing. And at the time, my high school, which was Martin Luther King High School here in Philadelphia, they had this program that 11th and 12th graders could attend, and we could work a week and go to school a week because we were about to graduate. And this would help us further decide if we were serious about going into the business field. And I enjoyed it. My first job, I worked part-time and went to school, was at Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company down Center City, Philadelphia at 6 and Arch, I believe, or 6 and Market, something like that. I think the building is still there, but I don't think they're still in business. I hope they are, because when I tell you, that company is where I learned how to grow up and become a responsible an adult. I met some great people. When I tell you that my friend Linda E. and I, we met there. We were both working on the co-op program, they called it, and we're still friends to this day. So it was worth it. It was no coincidence that she's still in my life today. and just as busy and active and into everything as I am. So, Linda E and I, we correlate. But back to my Capella University little planner here. I just wanted to read a few of the um, journal entries that I have. I call them journal entries, but they were probably just notes. They were actually notes that they would give us so we could keep up with our courses, our assignments, and I found it very, very interesting what I was thinking back then. This first note I have is, I received an email from my lead professor tonight welcoming me to class. Included in this email was his advice to inform our family and friends of our major decision to begin a master's program with Capella. I was so excited. He further instructed us to let each, and he further instructed me to let each one of my family members, associates, and friends know that my life was about to change for the better, and that I would have little time to attend family or related events such as barbecues, birthday anniversaries, or other types of parties, as I would be devoting a majority of my free time outside of work and personal everyday responsibilities to higher education. So I went to this master's program, and of course I was a mother, single parent, raising 4 sons at the time, and of course I had a lot of family support while I attended classes. But I said, you know what? I don't have time to watch television anymore. I've never really been a television watcher anyway, but I gave it away to one of my son's friends, and to this day, I still don't have a television in my bedroom. So that's something that stuck with me for a long time. So I had no problem with this instruction and went as far as to give my bedroom television away. No need or time to watch. I would be studying and composing term papers. And lastly, I wrote, it was the best decision I ever made. I enjoyed every moment and would do it again if the need arose. And of course, I was conferred and earned my master's degree in organizational management and leadership on December 31st, 2011. So this is a copy of my degree from Capella University. So I'm very honored. I'm still honored today. I'm still just as honored today as I was back then. When you work hard for something, you can appreciate it better. I have some other journal entries in here. Oh my goodness, look at this. I even have a note for chicken soup. One of my coworkers probably gave me back then. Chicken soup. Get 2 chicken breasts, split 2 pieces or thighs in a pot with water. Cut up celery, carrots, and onions. Add 1 quart of stock in a carton. Add garlic powder, fresh dill, salt, and pepper. Bring to a boil, then simmer. About 2 hours. So chicken soup. It's an easy recipe. I have a list of classes here that I took back then. Leadership classes, ethics, and coaching, leadership coaching. At some point, I also thought I might become a coach. I don't know what type of coach, but I guess it was, back then I think coaching was introduced where people would get assistance with learning how to better handle their life situations and issues, and it was in them. And I think a coach would be the person to bring it out of you because you already had an idea which way you wanted to go, or maybe you had an issue with something going on in your life and you just needed someone. As opposed to a therapist, you would call the person a coach. So, what else? Oh, look at this. March 2011. I think this was the year that I was about to finish my program. And I journaled again because I'm actually showing you visual journaling that I did over my lifetime. And this note says, my joy right now is in knowing that my hard academic progress will soon come to an end. Business management and leadership is my passion since 10th grade when I excelled at typing, shorthand, and office technology. So I've always been a secretary. I recall the movie with Dolly Parton, I think it was Lily Tomlin, and I believe Jane Fonda's 9 to 5. And back then they were working hard and they were secretaries, but they were underpaid for all their hard work. It was like the businessmen who ran these corporations were getting all the attention and all the acknowledgement when it was the little people like the secretaries and the administrative staff that was really making these companies run. We did everything. And yet I don't think anyone ever really took notice. Business management leadership is my passion since 10th grade. I was running Xerox copies via a typed steno. So you would have to type this carbon steno and then run it on this machine with this ink, and it would print out our copies because we didn't have copiers back then, like real copiers. Our computer system back in the 80s consisted of us sitting at desk with a desktop monitor, but there were these rooms off to, another area that had these huge, they call it mainframes, that would signal back and forth the information that we were requesting. There was no Google, there was no ChatGPT, there were no cell phones. So when I say that the next generation coming up, they need to know about that time because it was the least stressful time of our life. I mean, if you think you're stressed now, we were so not in a hurry, not not the person that couldn't stay focused. We were focused. We were not in a hurry. We were calm. We could wait because there was no such thing as all this instant this, instant that. I don't even remember. And I'll have to think about this, but I don't recall if we even had a microwave. Maybe later on in the 80s, but right after high school, I don't think we had a microwave. I think we were still cooking and warming everything up on the top of the stove. So here I say thank you to my former Martin Luther King business office teachers, Ms. Pluckfelder, Ms. Branham, and Ms. Coles, who were also my key to landing a full-time position at Penn Mitchell Life. I worked there from 1983 to 1989 when I decided to get married. And my husband at the time was in the Navy. So I ended up leaving Philadelphia and moving to Silver Spring, Maryland, which was a nice area as well. I cannot believe that my 20-year journey toward a master's in science degree has come to a close. And I thank God and all who supported my academic endeavors. May 2011, MS Organizational Management with a concentration in leadership. Priceless it is. So when I talk about journaling and then later on reflecting, this is what I'm talking about. I have case studies here from back then, and visionary coaching, affiliative, pace setting. We were taught leadership skills, ethics, how we couldn't bring personal problems and issues into the workplace. And I recall over the many years that I would apply for positions, I would always make it clear that I did not bring my personal problems to the company, and I did not take company problems home to my family. I clearly knew how to separate the two. And I don't think I ever did. I think every day I went to work, I was always in a positive mood. So that's a very good quality to have. I know a lot of the younger generation may not be aware, but the importance of positive energy now in our society is important because there's so much negativity that's easy to be caught up in, and we have to be careful with the company we keep and just everything that we decide to keep around us in our lives, in our circle. It's very important to choose wisely. So this is my short little video where I wanted to go back in time and reflect, because this is what journaling is all about. As I continue my series on the importance of journaling, these are little pop-up ideas and videos that I will share with you. And I will be talking again about visual journaling in February 2026. I was able to inquire about and find some tips on visual journaling, and it's suggestions for my viewers because I love you and I appreciate you, and I just want to get you in the same mindset that I am in toward journaling. It's just something that, in addition to a diary, which you really get to write your personal and feel. The 50 visual journal prompts that I'll briefly go over with you, they separate in 3 different categories: identity, imagination, and art skills. So a couple of the identity prompts or suggestions are, when you're visual journaling, you ask yourself, who am I? When was I younger? I'm sorry. You talk about who you are. You talk about when you were younger, when you grow up, your biggest fear, your current journey, my greatest joy, and then you throw a little imagination in there. Invent an object. Imagine that you have traveled to a different time period and draw what you see. Be creative with letters. Be creative with numbers. Draw yourself in an imagined environment. Pretend you have been sucked into your favorite book. Do it all the time. Art skills. Create a drawing of a chair. I don't know how hard or easy that is. Make a creative drawing of kitchen items. I'll draw a spoon or a fork. Draw your closet in 1 or 2 point perspective. Choose an element of art to highlight. And that's easy to do because I would probably choose a butterfly. And choose a principal design to highlight it. So I'll try to go over these topics or these little prompts with you later on in my videos. But again, I thank you for all of your support. I thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, and following my journey as the queen of journaling and my series, The Importance of Journaling. And hopefully I will talk to you again soon.